Hi there, I'm Eric Wordweaver Sjerven, Goathie of the Redgar folk here in East Texas, and I would like to welcome you to The Raven's Call. This is a show where I ramble on about different heathen-related subjects, just kind of whatever strikes my fancy, sets my mind on fire at the time. Man, I got a mind fire today, let me tell you. Housekeeping stuff before we get started. If you like what you see, subscribe, ding the bell, comment, like, share it around. If you want to communicate in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion, be involved in the community, all that information is down below. You got email addresses. Trying to get caught up on emails. I'm constantly trying to get caught up on emails. Facebook group, or the Facebook page. There is a Facebook group as well. There's Wordweaver Productions, which is the fan page, and there's Wordweaver Productions Community, which is the group that is the discussion group that's tied to it. So you find all that down below. P.O. Box if you want to send in anything that may be shown on the channel, or you just want to send something in, whatever. I love seeing those things. Really cool. Awesome fan mail's cool as all get out. So it's there if you want it. I am not, big UPG warning, I am not a historical heathen. I am a modern heathen doing modern heathen things, and not a neo-pagan fluffy bunny kind of thing where, it's all out the window, do what feels good kind of thing. I am very much middle of the road. So keep that in mind as we go forward, all right? Now, today's subject is one that's kind of got my ire up. It's a thing. Anybody that has spent any kind of time on the internet knows that there's a reason I call it Trollheim. All right? Trollheim, because that is the home of trolls. That's where trolls come out and do troll things. All right? Now, there's a great line in Beowulf and Grendel, said by Hrothgar, who is played by Stellan Skarsgård. I love Stellan Skarsgård. Great actor. Does a wonderful Hrothgar. The movie has its issues, but it's got a lot of good things in it too. But he has this one line where he says, and I will take out the cuss word for the channel. But anyway, he says, "Do not bother me with why a troll does what a troll does." It has more punch with the cuss word in it, but you know what I mean. Trolls will do trollish things because they want to. We've talked about patent trolls in the past. We've talked about trolls in Trollheim doing troll things. And I ran afoul of a troll the other day that just kind of got my ire up. And this is something that I skirt around a lot of the more hot button topics because I don't want that to be what this channel is about. I don't want to focus on the divisive things. I want to focus more on the, hey, do you build your world, build your hearth, build your tribe, build your clan kind of stuff. And I don't necessarily like to get into the drama side of things. But sometimes drama comes and just kind of lays on your lap and you can't do anything but look at it. And that's kind of what I had to do here with this particular instance. Now, what I'm getting at here, you're going to see all sorts of different things on the internet where people will choose to be divisive about stupid stuff, all right? The race thing is one that pops up a lot. I see a lot of people do the whole racial thing. You know where I stand on that. I don't care if you're purple. I don't care if you're fuchsia, whatever, all right? I don't care if you're a Ferengi or a Twi'lek. It doesn't matter. As long as you're, yeah, I know I'm mixing my genres on purpose, but it doesn't matter what you are. You're heathen as long as you hit all the heathen marks for me, which is, honoring your gods and goddesses, honoring your ancestors, honoring your community, your people, and the Vatir of the land, As long as you're hitting those points, I don't have a problem with you calling yourself a heathen. I don't care. Not my call. But nonetheless, people get divided about stupid stuff, and race is one of those stupid things that I see pop up all the time, where people are like, I don't understand why you don't just go back and be on, follow the religion of your ancestors. Why you got to borrow the religion of mine? Shut up. I know I'm rambling and I'm ranting on this one, guys, but I'm a little worked up. This particular one is an argument that I haven't seen pop up in a while, and it's one that really gets my ire up, and that's a division over something really, really silly in my eyes, and that is the idea of European versus American heathens. American heathens will rock along doing their heathen thing without really thinking about, how we're perceived on the other side of the pond, and there's reasons for that, mostly because, we don't really think about that. We're just doing us. It's like when I put this out here, I'm not thinking about it as I'm an American heathen. I'm thinking I'm a heathen, and this is my worldview. I don't globalize to American heathens because That's not a globalizable thing. I know I just made that word up, but I don't care. East Coast, West Coast, North, South, Midlands, all of that, it's all different. Everybody's got a different kind of take on things, and that's good. There should be regional influences on your heathenry. A heathen in Texas is going to do different stuff than a heathen in California, or a heathen in Minnesota, or a heathen in New York. I know people in all these spots. We all go things about things differently, and I like that. I enjoy that. It brings flavor to heathenry. It is the essence of grassroots heathenry that you are your community, your region, your people. That's a fantastic thing, and I love it, and I embrace it. So when I talk to European heathens, I try to be respectful of the fact that they're going to do things differently over there because they have different modern culture elements that influence how they do their specific heathen culture. And I think that's cool. I like to hear from it. I like to talk about it. What I don't like is this divisiveness that seems to come up between the two. You know, I had somebody jump up on the comment section the other day and start talking about how they hate how American heathens are a thing, that they should stick to their Christian God or their Jewish God, and they should stay away from our gods and our way because, you know, Scandinavian heathens are the only true heathens. And guys, I'm not down for that whole nationalistic thing, all right? That's not a thing. I mean, if you're going to really go back to that, you're talking about a regional culture there. A lot of the people that are heathens today in like America or in South America, whatnot, come from backgrounds whose ancestors, their particular lines, worshipped the gods in the old days. And I've done the whole racial thing, so you guys know where I stand on all that. I think it's stupid. Anybody can worship the gods that wants to worship the gods. It would be arrogant of me to think that I can dictate who can and can't worship the gods, who can and can't call themselves heathen. That's not my role. The only thing that I can dictate is who can and can't call themselves Ridgar. That's my tribe. So, you know, that's the thing. It's our people and those that are part of our tribe. That's where that can be at. But as far as who calls themselves heathen, that's not my call. That's not my thing. So when I sit here and I see my viewers go at each other in the comment section, you know, this one that I'm looking at in particular. Okay, let me preface this with like 98% of my viewers are amazing. You guys are fantastic. You're supportive of one another. You have great stuff to add down in the comment section. You bring up research or different points of view. Hey, we do things differently here versus here. I love that. That's awesome. Keep doing it. You guys are great. When I see people come up and like I had one person who was like, hey, thank you for doing the channel. I love this. This is really helping me kind of discover my way into this path. And then the person that I'm thinking about, this particular individual, does a trollish thing and jumps up and says, stay away, you don't belong here. And then of course they plaster up a big post about, you know, hating on American heathens because they're a European heathen and feel that European heathenry is the only real heathenry. I don't care, guys. I really don't. And it's stupid to sit here and focus on those kind of silly, divisive things. That's not what this channel is about. That's not what heathenry today is about. If you're focusing on whether or not someone across the pond can call themselves heathen, then you're not focusing enough on your own tribe and your own ways of doing things. You're not focusing on your own culture. You're focusing on what other cultures are doing. I tend to stay away from terms like cultural appropriation and stuff like that because I don't feel like I don't play the PC game a lot today. So I try to stay away from a lot of that on the channel because it doesn't matter to me. You know, if somebody wants to go out and do these things on their own terms in their own way, and it's different from the way that I do it, then that's just different from the way that I do it. And that's fine. I may not want to associate with them. I may want to outwardly say, hey, we're not with these people. They're crazy. But it's still theirs. I'm not going to go in and try and, you know, Viking raiding party shut their stuff down because that's not. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would if it was somebody that was like abusing kids or something like that. But that's just common human decency, people. So it drives me nuts to see these silly divisive things pop up. And I'm not one that tries to go for globalized heathenry. I'm a grassroots heathen kind of guy. I don't want to see people trying to build some global heathenry, trying to build some new world heathen order kind of deal. I'm not for that. I'm not in favor of that. I'm in favor of people supporting their own tribes and their own cultures and doing stuff. I'm just not interested in seeing people jump into comment sections and tear each other apart over something stupid that's not even on point. If you want to talk about the differences in how you do bloat, if you want to debate the differences in symbol and whether or not you use a more modern symbol or if you use a more historical symbol, whether you want to debate the heathen calendar or whatever, I don't care. Those are cool. By all means, get at it, talk it out, listen to each other's stuff, and have conversations. Engage in this stuff. But don't resort to, you have no right to be heathen because you're American. Really? Really? Come on, guys. We're not going to play the pedigree game, all right? I don't go in for all of that. Yes, I know what my pedigree is. I know where my family goes back. And I've got bullets to fire in that particular arena if I want to wade into that fight. I purposefully do not bring those swords to bear because that's not the point. That is not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is talking to each other about heathenry so that we can be better heathens ourselves. So that we can figure out where we stand on things, our approach to things, that we can plan things out, we can rationalize these different elements, we can think about things in a different way than maybe we thought about them before, and maybe grow and become stronger as a tribe and to do better for our people. That's my focus. When I get into these conversations, I want to broaden my horizons and understand more. I'm talking to people about their experiences with the Vatir and the role that the Vatir play within their tribe, whether it's a certain approach or another approach, or the role of the Husvatir versus the Landvatir, where the boundaries are, workspaces, stuff like that. A lot of the videos that I do up here on this channel is because I've had a conversation like that recently, and it set my mind on fire about something, and I needed to get it out. So I got it out here with you guys, and you seem to enjoy it. I've got something like a 98% like approval rating, so cool. We don't get it a whole lot in the comment section on this channel, but I see it on other channels. I see people come up and have like death threats and stuff because somebody spoke bad about their particular way, their particular approach to heathenry. That's part of the reason that I don't toe into some of the more, dodgy subjects, the more touchy subjects, because that's not what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on the glitz and glamour and internet brawls and all this stuff. That's not what the channel's about. I'm not into the whole clickbaity stuff of let's attack this group or let's attack that group. And I do have ones that I could go after if I was more interested in that, but I'm not interested in that. That's not what the channel's about. That's not what this community that has built up around the channel is about. So I want to commend you guys that are out there that have stayed away from the more dramatic side of things. I try to block those individuals that come in and share stupid stuff or make stupid comments about stuff. I've only had to block a few from the channel in the time that it's been up, but I anticipate there's going to be more. I know people that have gotten death threats off of their YouTube channels because the folks that watching didn't like what they had to say, or they felt challenged or attacked by whatever the talking head on the TV said. They got so uppity that they wanted to kill the person on the TV. Come on, guys. If you don't like it, turn it off. Change channels. I'm using the TV metaphor, but you get the idea. Switch to a different YouTube channel. Go listen to somebody who is in your own little echo chamber and go that route. Or if you're willing to actually grow and think some stuff, then listen to somebody who doesn't necessarily agree with you. And so why does it help to listen to somebody that has a different viewpoint than you, that you don't agree with? I mean, what is the purpose behind that? You have to codify your own argument against them, which helps you to better understand your own stance. If you have to explain to somebody why you're against racism within heathenry, you have to codify your reasoning. You have to have an argument to be able to do that. So you can sit up and say, hey, this is why. If you want to use a modern approach to symbol as opposed to a historical approach to symbol, then talking about it with somebody will help you to understand better why you want to approach it that way, why it works better for your tribe, because you have to think out the details. That's the cognitive dissonance that comes from this discordant interaction, forces you to strengthen your own sense of understanding, your own sense of self, your own ego, in order to be able to wade through this, to get through the storm, as it were. So this is a wonderful thing. It's a great thing, and it's good. Now, don't get me wrong, nobody wants to fight all of the time, and you do need to talk to people of like mind so that you can help to, you need to bounce ideas off of each other and delve deeper into that world. I mean, if you're only talking about this with people who don't have the same view and you're arguing about it all the time, then all you're doing is treading surface water, splashing back and forth at each other. You're not getting deep conversations. If you're looking at, say, the role of Loki within your pantheon, and you're talking to someone who doesn't recognize the existence of Loki at all, then you're not going to get anywhere in a deeper understanding of your own personal mythos with this person. You can help to justify your own stance, understand your own stance, maybe even get some opposing views and re-examine your own stance. But you're not really going to delve into and do any real deep processing here as far as, going into different interpretations of lore and stuff like that. You do need a bit of both, a middle-of-the-road approach. Imagine that. Eric recommends a middle-of-the-road approach to something. Oh, stop the presses. So, when I see somebody jump up on my comment section and talk about you can't be heathen because you're American, it just derails me for a second. And normally I just brush it off and I just keep going. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Comments to me that's like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. You're an American. You have no right to be heathen. Delete, whatever. I don't care. I'm going to go on because I'm going to do me. I'm going to do my heathenry my way. And if you don't like it, okay, cool. The whole channel was set up on the concept of, if you like this, watch it. If you like it, hit subscribe, ding the bell, all that fun stuff. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's okay. I'm fine with that. It's not for everybody. I tell you at the beginning of the episode, this is my views, my worldview. It is not a globalized thing. It's not greater heathenry. It's my approach to heathenry. I don't tell you that I'm trying to educate you on this is how heathenry is. I try to arm you with stuff, different points of view, different information that may help you to build your own worldview, to develop your own approach to things, because I'm not interested in dictating your own approach, your own worldview. I'm not interested in dictating whether or not you can call yourself a heathen. Not my hall, not my call. Okay? So, normally I brush those things off. What got me on this particular one was that they went after one of my other listeners, my other viewers, and I felt it was out of line. I don't want the comment section to degrade and boil down into a cesspool of, trollish behavior. Don't feed the trolls, people. Don't feed the trolls. I'll boot them out when I see them, but don't feed the trolls. That's not good. It doesn't do anything. So, European heathens do go at things a little bit differently than American heathens, generally speaking, to use the globalized terms that I don't particularly care for, but it is simply because of cultural differences. Heathens in Europe have ties to lands that have more weird tied to the old ways, to the old practices with the gods. Now, my view is the gods created all of Midgard and not just Scandinavia. They didn't just create Europe. They didn't just create that little patch of land over there. They created the world. And in so doing, the entire world is their purview. Anyone in the world can therefore honor the gods. And that's my approach. It's my viewpoint. Somebody else may have a different viewpoint, and I'm not going to tell them otherwise because I don't fully understand the gods. I am constantly learning. I am constantly trying to gain a deeper understanding and to understand the sacred better. And I can't dictate what forms the sacred may take. I can't dictate what names others may call the gods by. Not my role to even try and get involved in that. But I'm also not going to sit by and let somebody sit here and lambaste another person in the comment section of my channel simply because they're different like that. But anyway, when you're talking about heathens from like Denmark, Sweden, stuff like that, they're going to have a different approach than someone who's, say, in the Midwest in America, or who's in Texas, or who's in New York, California. We have differences here in America on regions, so of course we're going to have differences from someone who's practicing heathenry in Iceland, or someone who's practicing heathenry in Sweden or Norway. It's going to be a thing, because the other trappings, the other cultural elements that come from a regionalized approach are going to be significantly different. And there's a lot of things that they'll have over there that are tied to the old ways and tradition because they're old folk ways that have survived and they're still there. But I got news for you, folks. There's some of that here in America too, because there's old folkways that have survived here in America. If you look at the Orlaw individuals kind of up in the Pennsylvania area, the Pennsylvania Dutch sort of thing, they've got some interesting traditions and whatnot that have survived generations and been passed down there. The hex sign stuff that they do alone is fascinating and interesting. I love to look at that kind of stuff. The upper Midwest, you go up into like Minnesota and the Dakotas and stuff, there's a lot of Norwegians and Scandinavians that settled that area. So you're going to have some very interesting traditions that still survive there. Texas was heavily settled by Germans and Scandinavians. Believe it or not, there's a lot of them here. And so you will find things in Texas that are uniquely German or uniquely Scandinavian. And it's really kind of neat to see these things, you know. My own family came in kind of up through Minnesota and through California and over to Texas before they settled here. So with that, we've picked up some stuff from all across. And we've got some particularly interesting family traditions and viewpoints and things like that. And then, of course, I have some distinct differences from some of my cousins way up in Minnesota, simply because we've never actually met. We've grown up independently of each other and didn't discover each other until we were adults, and our only interactions have been on Facebook. So I hope to meet them someday. I think that'd be cool. I got a couple of them up there that I would like to see and say hi to. So yeah, that's a thing. So shout out to my cousin Catherine up in Minnesota. You're awesome. Anyway, so this is a thing, guys. I see this division pop up, and I'm failing to understand why we're fighting about this, why it's a thing, and I almost feel bad dedicating a video to it. But like I said, Mindfire, and this is a Mindfire that just had me going today, was that the division here is the wrong kind of division. The divisions between us within heathenry need to be based on tribes and cultures. You know, like I said, I'm not going for some globalized heathenry. What I'm looking for is strength in individual tribes, strength in tribal cultures, and of course that's going to differ across the Atlantic Ocean. Of course it is. That's by nature it's going to. But just saying, you know, you can't be this because you're on the wrong side of the ocean. I mean, sharks and jets much? Come on, guys. It's silly. It really is silly. So you can be a heathen in America. You can be a heathen in South America. You can be a heathen in Africa, Australia. I don't care. Where you are means different faiths here. Where you are means different surrounding cultures with which you have to interact. It means different cultural influences on your tribe, because that is a regionalized thing, and that's important. It's a thing. We are very much Texas heathens, my tribe, and so there's a lot of things that we do that's kind of Texas specific. Okay, cool. I like that. I like to see that. You know, I know a lot of Texas tribes that take some pride in being kind of Texan. Of course, Texans kind of take pride in being Texan anyway. But the gist is embrace your regionalization, but it doesn't have to be a fight. You know, it can be, hey, cool, you guys do this differently than we do. Tell me about it. Let me know why you do this. What is it that you do? Why is it different? You know, what is your approach to this? And you know, go from there. You know, focus on the important things. You know, learn from each other and grow. But ultimately, worry about your own. Don't worry about what somebody else on the other side of the U.S. is doing. Don't worry about what somebody on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean is doing. Don't worry about that stuff. You know, it's ridiculous, and it's not on point. It's not what we're about on this particular channel. So anyway, that's this rant. I'm going to cut it kind of short today, simply because I'm just going to ramble on about the same thing and say the same thing over and over again, because I'm still kind of fired up about it. But yeah, guys, keep it civil in the comments section. Don't argue about stupid stuff, but do engage in comments, in conversations down there. Do engage in conversations on the community page. That's what it's for. Jump up there and engage and do stuff. That it's fine. That's what it's for. I like to see that. I like to see you guys talk and teach each other and learn from each other, because mine is not the only way of doing things. Okay. Now, I'm going to shut out more racist and outlandish kind of stuff. You know, I'm not going to let an entire thread go on about, you know, heathens in America versus Europe if it's just infighting and lambasting one another, because That's not productive. We're not doing anything there. I mean, if you're having a conversation about, hey, we do things differently over here, this is how we do it, and you're like, oh, that's cool, this is how we do it over here, well, that's neat, why do you do that differently? Oh, this is why we do this, but why do you do that? Cool, that's awesome. But the whole, you guys suck because you're from the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. Come on, guys. Come on. So anyway, that's enough for today. I'm rambling and ranting, and it's good to have a rant every now and again, just because we get into the serious subjects of, the teaching and the exploring different religious or spiritual points and everything on the channel. And sometimes I just need to kind of let some stuff out, and I'm glad you guys are willing to put up with me for it. So thank you all for watching the channel, for supporting, and just being genuinely awesome. You guys are great. I love that you watch the channel. I love that you engage in good conversations, that you're supportive of one another, and I want to see that continue to be a thing. So thank you all. Hail to you, and may your hearth fires burn bright. Now we're going to talk about something that's got my ire up. And this is this got me pissed off. So we're going to see if I can do this. Man, the comment sections in the internet are just ridiculous sometimes. So, a little bit of water. We're going to see where we can go with this, all right? We're going to talk about the European-American heathen thing. Oh, this got my ire up. Let's see what we can do. All right, we're live in 3, 2, 1. Let's jam.